Yes, Craig. Come to spy on us for the Russian government.
Facts, gonna send it to Putin and them, man, and get us locked out, locked up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them, innit?
For real.
We're back with another episode of the Lonely Stoner podcast, episode 19. We're at now. Going crazy. I'm Seth.
Yeah, cool. And I'm Evan. You know what it is.
And we're back at it once again. But it feels like it's been a long time, but I don't think it's actually been that long since we did our last episode. It's probably just a week ago, innit? But
yeah.
Time flies, innit?
Yeah, it is what it is, you know, shit happens, you know, go to bake off for a minute to allow there to be stuff to talk about, and yeah, man, just get back to it.
Even though I'm not baking off with the side quest episodes, it's getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
You've got stuff to get off your chest, though, isn't it? It's all good.
There's stuff to talk about. I think I'm on like episode 35 of that now, which is mad.
Yeah, you've been going absolutely hamage with the side quests.
And some of them do some numbers still, but only a matter of time, innit? Keep banging out the content. Keep doing the shorts as well. Shorts do numbers.
Yeah, for real. Some of the shorts be doing bare numbers.
Yeah, I mean the channel's it's at 43 subs now. It's like doubled in the past month. Mostly because I'm uploading like 4, 5, 6 shorts a day sometimes.
Yeah, the shorts definitely, like, I've seen that we got like over 400, nearly 500 videos, including the shorts altogether.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's absolute works being mashed.
Got to, bro.
You have to mash works with the
only way we're
going
to become free.
Yeah, the shorts are good. What are good as well. Like, good outreach.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
Especially the ones about Drickers.
Bro.
The legend he is.
Well, most of our episodes that include Drickers, they do pretty good in terms of viewership. Most because I'm just hating on him, innit?
Yeah, because you got one guy who rates him and thinks he's cold, and another guy who thinks he's bare shit and just lucky.
No, he's not lucky. He's not lucky. He's effective at what he does, but he's just not a good fighter, though.
But like, how you saying man's not good? Like, we've been over this so many times.
Yeah, we have still. We have.
But I guess seeing as we're already talking about the UFC, you might as well get to last night's fight. Obviously, I already briefly explained to you what happened in the Henry Cejudo fight, a bit of a mad one. Man, Song Yadong basically eye poked him and won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was from what I heard, what you told me, it sounded like it was a bit of a unique situation where they scored the fight based off what had already happened.
Yeah, it was scheduled to be 5 rounds, and after 3 rounds, they stopped it and judged it off the first three rounds.
Which I can't remember that ever happening before. I don't know if this ever happened before.
Might have happened once or twice, but this is not all a common occurrence.
No, because logic would suggest, and I'd assume, if you can't continue, it'd be just a no contest.
Yeah, I guess, but there's some rule that says, you know, if you said you could continue and then you go on and the round ends and you're saying you can't continue now, then, you know, it is what you go to the judges' scorecards for what it is. I guess that's just the rules, which is a bit silly, I guess, because Cejudo couldn't fight anymore because he got eye poked, and yeah, it goes to the scorecards and he loses. And even if a point had been taken away, it would have been a draw, so that wouldn't have been a loss. But really, he should have just said that you couldn't continue when he got eye poked.
Yeah,
and then it would have been a no contest, and then that would have been that. They probably would have rematched. I don't know if Henry don't fight that often, so no. I don't know. But even in Song Yadong, I don't know if you heard about this, but the UFC just didn't offer him a fight for like 9 or 10 months.
But he's like decently ranked as well, isn't he? I'm sure he's top 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's mad that, I mean, you hear about that in PFL as well, where a lot of these guys just not even getting offered fights, and ONE FC. It happens as well. It's mad that.
Yeah, I guess with them companies, you think, oh, maybe they don't want to pay these certain fighters, but with the UFC, you're thinking that can't really be an issue, especially with Song Yadong, who he's had a decent amount of fights, but he ain't gonna be on no crazy money. So.
No, you wouldn't think. No, definitely not. Well, what's next for Henry Cejudo though? Because like we were saying before, he hasn't won since he started his podcast. Now he should come on our podcast, but that's a different topic for a different day. But
Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
I'm midget.
Yeah, facts. Some chode.
Yeah.
So he's 0-3 since he started this podcast, though. It's like Usman.
No, it's crazy that he, was held in such high esteem, and now he's just losing every fight he's in.
Yeah, I mean, him fighting at bantamweight, like he's a small guy in general. He's small even for flyweight, because even the flyweights of this generation are a lot bigger than the flyweights when he was fighting.
Yeah, he's fighting at bantamweight at 38 years old.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be good for him, especially he's facing guys in the top 10. It's like he's fought.
I'll be so
Aldo.
honest though. I'll give credit for Henry Cejudo about one thing. His chin is quite good for these lower weight classes at such an old age. Because in that Song Yadong fight, he held a lot of good shots from Song Yadong. A lot of good straights and hooks. And then he was trying to take Henry Cejudo's fucking head off with an uppercut. And then, and then Henry Cejudo weren't getting rocked, he weren't going down, so I rate Cejudo for that. Like, he's still quite athletic, but he just doesn't really have cardio. And his skill set doesn't really, these days, it doesn't match up like it used to.
No, I imagine not. I mean, to be fair, since he's come back, he's not been losing to bums. He lost to Aldo and Marab, who are like top 5 bantamweights of all time.
Yeah, and Aldo's now a featherweight, which is 2 weight classes where Cejudo was in his prime.
Yeah, and Aldo's a huge bantamweight. I remember him saying,
Marab's Marab.
Yeah, exactly. No shame in losing to Marab. There is that, to be fair, but it depends on what he wants to do, because really, well, I don't see he's going back down to flyweight. He looks like he's too big and too old.
Yeah,
and not
too big and too old.
And not really probably committed to dropping the weight again if he was to go down to flyweight. But that's probably his easiest path to a title shot, because he's not getting a title shot at bantamweight.
No, he's far away from that.
The thing is, at flyweight, basically anyone can get a title shot. You put together back-to-back wins at flyweight, you could probably get a title shot at this point, because Pantoja's beaten so many of the top guys.
Yeah, it's getting to that point with flyweight where there's probably like one more guy that it's not even that like they deserve a title shot per se. It's just that Pantoja hasn't fought them and they're somewhat around, so give them a title shot.
That's why I want. That's why I was saying that Figueiredo should go down to flyweight.
Yeah, now he's fighting Corey Sandhagen, isn't he?
Yeah, that'll be a good fight.
Which is interesting, to be honest.
Bantamweight's got some, in terms of skill, it's probably like one of the better weight classes in the UFC.
I know, call me crazy, but I might pick Figueiredo in that one. But really and truly, if he can't hurt and finish or submit Sandhagen, he's probably going to lose.
The thing is, with Sandhagen, a bit like Sean O'Malley, should be a bit of a cheat code at bantamweight, just because these guys are so big. Like, Corey Sandhagen's like my height, bro.
Yeah.
Fighting at bantamweight.
When he was coming up, like 2018 and 2017 times, like he was a very cold prospect. He was a very, very cold prospect.
And I see his YouTube channel. I watch his YouTube channel quite a bit. He's clearly got high IQ, but can it translate at the top level is the real question. I mean, it has translated at the top level, but can it translate at the top?
He's very good, level? But it's just he's like the gatekeeper,
Yeah, but that's mad, because someone as good as him to be gatekeeper shows the level of the division.
That weight class is crazy. Because if you look at the guys that he's lost to in the UFC, Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, Piotr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov. So 3 champions and then Umar.
Yeah. And even the TJ fight
Umar is very good.
Yeah, no, definitely. But the TJ fight was mad close as well.
Yeah.
We watched that live during lockdown times. During the Apex days.
I loved the Apex. I loved it. Because not like, obviously you love when the crowd's there, like, but for what it was, that way in COVID times and they're still putting on UFC fights, that's cold.
Yeah.
And then it's just you hearing all the punches and the shouting and that. It just felt like whoever had more of a warrior spirit was coming through it.
It felt like,
because the crowd can enhance certain fighters, right? But certain
Definitely.
fighters are just naturally just menacing and just.
Yeah.
I feel like Apex COVID Dustin Poirier is one of the best fighters I've ever seen. Just beating the shit out of everyone.
Yeah. He put beatings on some guys. Who did he fight in the
That Dan
Apex?
Hooker fight.
Dan
It's that
Hooker.
Dan
Yeah,
Hooker.
yeah,
You like that, Dan? You like that,
yeah.
Dan?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Well, that Dustin Poirier. Who would have thought, innit? Man's still fighting. He wants to retire soon.
Looking for a retirement fight, innit? I'm thinking like, who could he fight like that? It wouldn't be that deep if he won the fight, but like he could boost someone up if he lost, sort of shit.
But I think he only wants to fight like a legend.
Oh,
He said he only wants to fight a legend for his last.
so who would
fight.
that be? Like, I don't know, Charles Oliveira.
That's the only guy it could really be. Still, it's not going to be Islam. It's not going to be Michael Chandler. Moicano's the only guy. It's not going to. Arman's not a legend. Oliveira's like the only guy.
That's man's gonna fight Max Holloway again, but
perhaps that wouldn't be a bad shout actually. That Holloway's at lightweight.
Hooker's fighting
Actually, Ilya wouldn't be a bad shout.
HB.
Ilya wouldn't be a bad shout.
I've heard that fight thrown around, but for me, I feel like that would be a cold fight, but Dustin Poirier might be looking for a bit of an easier fight, low key.
There is no easy fights at the top in lightweight, bro. There is no easy fights, really.
It's easier. Like Max Holloway's an easier fight than Ilya.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And they're like, what are they not like 1-on-1? Or did they fight twice at lightweight already? No, they didn't, did they?
I don't think so. They fought, but they would have fought at featherweight, no?
Yeah, once at featherweight, I think, and once at lightweight. I think Max won the one at featherweight, and then obviously Dustin won the one at.
Yeah. So maybe a trilogy. Yeah, that could be a good shout still. Yeah, Max Holloway.
There's actually some decent options, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean he's getting a fat payday regardless, but it's his last fight, so
it'll be on some fat pay-per-view like co-main event 5 rounds or something.
Yeah, it'd have to be still.
Yeah. Some like John Jones fucking Aspinall co-main event.
Yeah. Unless they do like a fight night in where man's from in his hometown. Where's he from? Like Louisiana or something. They do like a fight night there and do a main event there. That could run. But...
I think man could fight on a fight night if it's in his hometown, maybe.
And he's the main event.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be quite cool. It's probably if you're putting him on a pay-per-view, you probably should put him up against someone you want him to lose. Because you're not putting him versus Taporia on a fight night.
Nah, definitely not.
Or even him versus Charles Oliveira.
Nah. Max Holloway's like the biggest fight. Even Max Holloway on a fight.
Yeah, him versus Max probably wouldn't. Nah, that wouldn't go on a fight.
Even that wouldn't run. Nah.
Versus like Dan Hooker could go on a fight night.
Yeah. Maybe that then. Nah, but surely not.
And then if you're saying anyone else, then you're really going down to like guys who aren't legends. So he's not going to fight them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not going to fight Chandler. Hooker's booked and Chandler's booked.
Yeah.
Holloway, he could fight Holloway.
Yeah.
Gaethje's booked against Hooker. Oliveira could fight Oliveira. And Arman's not really a legend.
Nah.
And that's about it.
I mean, if they wanted to be peak to Dustin, then they could maybe do Arman, and Arman would probably beat him. And then after that, Arman goes for the title shot. Arman's not a legend, but maybe if UFC give Dustin a fat payday.
Oh yeah, and if Dustin thinks if he wins the fight, they'll just give him another title shot, maybe.
Damn. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't think he's gonna get fed to Islam again. Surely not.
I hope not. That would be rough, man. Islam is just feeding.
That's what it feels like with Yuri as well at light heavyweight. Like he beats Jamal Hill, then what? Like you're gonna face Poatan again and get slept. Like it's just peak.
Get slept again.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you see though? Speaking of Poatan, the Poatan-like knockout that was on last night's card.
No, I didn't. I ain't seen none of the card. I was watching the boxing
So
last night. We'll
just
talk
go
about
on
that
X
after.
quickly. Just go on X
Okay.
quickly on your PC and type in Gene, like jeans, but Gene, and then Silver, like one
Oh, I
of these
saw that
silver.
one. Yeah, Gene Singer. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cold. That was a naughty
Yeah,
knockout. I
man,
saw that one.
cool. So the other guy, Max Arian, whatever his name was, he slapped Gene Silver, and then Gene Silver like laughed, and then they handshaked, and then man just knocked him out.
That's what you have to do, bro.
I was like,
a
oh yeah,
clean
you're a
knockout
sick
as
man,
well.
you're a sick man, and then he just knocked him out.
Because it was like a hook cross, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
hook
was,
cross,
it was,
yeah, left hook cross.
yeah. That was a lovely.
That guy, I don't even know why he was fighting my man, to be honest, because he's already beaten like some bit like Drew Dober, big name guys, and he's fighting 8-2 Donnies. So,
He's a featherweight.
Yeah, featherweight. He
Okay.
fought at lightweight, but yeah, he violated Drew Dober at lightweight.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a featherweight.
Gene
Harder
Silver, he's fighting nerds. Yeah. I see my man with the glasses, in it.
Be so honest, it's either him or obviously middleweight is shit in it, so I'm not gonna say Caio Bairojo is their best fighter, but Gene Silver is probably their best fighter, to be honest.
Yeah.
Considering he's a featherweight and he's doing this to guys technical knockouts as well. Like
Araujo, has he been in the UFC the longest? Is he the first one in the UFC out of these guys?
Probably, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was like the first one in the UFC, but yeah,
he's quite highly ranked.
Yeah, because he's been there for so long, and he's
he had 2 fights in the Contender Series and then made his debut in 2022.
Fighting nerds, I rate their story still, because the guy who's at the head of the gym, he's not even like a former fighter or nothing.
Yeah, he's just
a student of the game.
Yeah, my Caio Bairojo, he's 17-1.
It's a cold.
His only loss was in his second ever fight.
Yeah,
you see them type of losses, they almost don't even count. They're just character building. In fact, if anything, they make you better. They make you look better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because in MMA, if you've got a guy who's been unbeaten for time, and you look at his early record, he's probably fought like guys who were shit.
Yeah, when you look at Bairojo, he's been in the contender. He went 9-1 on his first Contender Series fight, and now he's 17-1 at the top of the middleweight division.
Yeah, he's fought a lot. Then that's cold. That's what you have to do, though, G.
You have to stay active. You have to.
Yeah.
That's what you get you ratings by the UFC. If you come in on do short notice and you stay active, you know what I mean, and you fight whoever, you don't complain, they love you for that.
But then you get a guy like Song Yadong, who he's not even given the opportunity to do that, though. They're saying he hadn't been offered a fight in like 10 months.
Yeah, he did say that. I think he said that on Ariel's show, innit?
Which is mad, because obviously we're saying, take all these fights and do that. But if you're not getting offered fights, what can you do?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, again, it could be a situation where at bantamweight, it's just certain guys are booked up and they don't want to put him against some nobody at bantamweight because they rate him or whatever. Yeah. Like he's Chinese and he's like 26 or 27 years old.
He's young, man. Fair enough.
He's already had I think he's like 21-8 or something. So he's had a lot of fights. He's experienced. Wow. You know, he's had losses.
What a guy!
I guess. He's quite cool.
That Gene Silver knockout was crazy, though.
Yeah, no, that was quality.
He wanted to walk away as well, but the ref wasn't trying to stop it. So that man, what did he do? He like ripped elbows to the body. That looked peak still.
I think Song Yadong was 9-5, fighting in China.
Ross, you're not even
if you're on WMMA, you'll see him, man, and you're thinking, yeah, he's food.
Yeah, facts. At bantamweight as well, yeah, he's cooked. Because I'm signing him at bantamweight and slapping him in the featherweight division, and he's getting beaten up by my top guys.
No, wait, who's nasty body hook?
The Gene Silver back at the end of the fight. When
the
elbows to the body. That
6 to 12 elbows to the body. What is man like? Man's on demon mode. Like, what the fuck?
No,
why is man's clearly finished? Yeah, banged him in the face like twice, and then just started 6 to 12 elbowing him in the side of the ribs. Like, what the fuck?
The ref wasn't trying to stop the fight. Because man,
he wasn't.
He's looking at the ref like, facts. He wanted that. He's looking at the ref like, we're done here. The ref's like, nah. No,
carry on. I want to see him die.
That's it, bro. That's how it is. Speaking of referees, though, I was watching on Fight Pass one of these regional boxing events, and all I see is your boy Chris Lieben as a boxing referee.
What?
You literally, bro. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking, right, is that who I think
He's
it
got
is?
red hair.
Yeah, I think so. I think
I remember he was on Kingdom, innit?
Bruh.
Yeah. Blast from the past, that.
Facts. And he gets shot. Not Chris Lieben, the gay guy.
Yeah. Deserved it, innit?
Well, just because of his sexuality, innit?
I rate that, man. Became a referee, like, respect.
Yeah, anything for the payday, G. And at least this way, he ain't got to take punches to the head.
But at the end of the day, he's gonna know if somebody's really hurt or if they're not feeling good or whatever.
Yeah, facts. Man took enough beating, so he knows what it looks like. He knows what it is when he sees it still. He took enough beatings in his career.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some referees, I mean, especially back in the day, they were so bad. Sometimes they are. Even the good ones are bad sometimes. But before they used to be like bad regularly. And
I think it's hard to get a lot of these decisions right, innit? Because you get a guy who gets knocked out. You don't know how badly he's knocked out unless a guy's like flatlined or he's submitted. It's hard to actually know like, what's gone on, if he's just rocked and he can continue, or he's just like, out on his feet. But I guess it's the sort of thing that should come with time. And I imagine a lot of the early MMA refs were just like former boxing refs. I guess now you've got like specific refs for MMA. But back then it might not have been the case.
Yeah, it was just other refs and they're putting them in there because that's all they have with the certain licenses or whatever it is you need to become a referee, obviously. That's what they're doing. But now, we have the certain refs that are just for MMA. It's much better.
Yeah. But your guy, John McCarthy's not even a ref anymore. He's been retired.
Yeah, you will see like an announcer now.
Got a podcast. But he was a commentator on Bellator, but they don't exist anymore.
So is he for PFL now or just now?
I don't think so. I think he's just got a podcast because PFL, I've got announcers, I think, but who's watching PFL events to even know?
Yeah, really and truly.
He's got a podcast with Josh Thompson, isn't it?
Rah. Oh yeah, and they start violating the MMA Guru or something.
Yeah. Obviously, them man,
no.
them man try and pretend like they don't know who MMA Guru is, innit? Nice jokes. Obviously, MMA Guru, who reacts to all of it. Guru does not dodge the smoke at all.
He's gonna react. Anyone who's worth anything says his name. He's gonna make a whole video about it because why not?
In fact, I'll do the same.
That's content.
At the end of the day, that's really what it is. We know all about that. Like 500 videos uploaded. Ridiculous. What about your guy, my man who smokes cigarettes in the park?
Oh, Carlos Prates. Yeah, he's fighting somebody, isn't he?
No, not Carlos Prates.
Oh, in the park.
No, the YouTuber that says, I'm gonna stop for a thumbnail. Man just looks at the camera.
Oh yeah. I can't remember what his name is. I just heard smoking cigarettes. My mind just went to Carlos Prates.
He is cold. He just rips darts, isn't he? He just rips them blims.
Yeah, he loves it.
Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it because he's out here finishing guys as well. Had a few losses early in his career, but decided to lock in. And now he's cold.
Jeff Neal's who he's fighting, isn't it? Yeah. I do and don't rate Jeff Neal in it, so I'm just gonna pick Carlos Prates.
Okay. When's that fight happening? I don't even know.
Probably a while. It's a while, I think.
Yeah. Was there anything else from that UFC card that was worth talking about?
Worth anything? So I did have the card. Where's it gone? Here we go. Rob Font fought. You know about Rob Font, the bantamweight.
Yeah.
He fought undefeated 16-0 Gene Matsumoto. My man was having his UFC debut, and my man lost a split decision. It was a good fight. It was kind of a war. People weren't really rating this, or MMA Guru wasn't rating this Gene Matsumoto guy with his undefeated 16-0 record, but he actually looked quite good against a ranked Number 9 ranked Rob Font on his UFC debut as well, so respect. He looked good. And Rob Font did a fake glove touch at the start of the fight as well.
Bro,
And just started
scumbag.
landing punches to his face. Like, it was kind of mad. And that's low key how he won the fight, because the second round went to Matsumoto, the third round went to Font, and the first round was really close. So if my man didn't do that in the first round, you never know. But yeah.
Remember, guys used to do that on the UFC games, innit? Online.
Yeah, fake glove touches kick you in the head, innit?
But
I
doing
will
that
say
in real life,
there's only one more thing worth talking about on this card.
Yeah.
The main man, Ricky Simone, got a knockout victory against 14-1 Javid Bashrat.
Nice, fair enough. Didn't your boy Tutalaba, is he still in the UFC? He won as well.
Yeah, he won by submission in the first round.
Now, he's one of these guys that I remember seeing on like prelims of like fight nights or pay-per-views like 10 years ago.
Yeah, back in the day.
And he's
been about for a while. Literally, he's been in UFC for 9 years.
Mad, bro. I remember seeing man on like UFC 2 something prelims, fight night prelims, just out here doing his thing, winning some, losing some. Never going to be world champion, but got to, and it just
lose 2 in a row, draw a fight, win, lose 3 in a row, win, lose, win 2 in a row.
Hanging on by a thread, isn't it?
One more loss, and you're out of here. It's like, nah. Now he's won 3 out of his last 4.
Keeps fighting, man needs a job, so fair play to him, innit?
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, people like his gimmick with his green paint and that, so.
Oh, yeah.
He's only 31, fucking hell. So he's been in the UFC since he was like 22. Probably like a prospect, to be fair. Yeah. Man was 11-1 and lost his UFC debut. Like, it's calm, you know what I mean? He was 11-1 and now he's 19-10. So,
wow.
That tells you what you need to know.
A brutal life to be living.
Well, I guess man is doing what he loves and he's getting paid for it, so.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in his contract, he should be getting paid a decent amount, but he's had bad runs. Like, he's had a couple losses in a row.
There's probably been times where they're not really trying to renew his contract. He's like, oh, I won't take that much money. And they're just like, all right then.
But to be fair, staying in the UFC for that long, you gotta respect it.
Respect. Having that many fights in the UFC. No. Over 15 fights in the UFC, you got to be a certain level of decent.
15 fights in 9 years. Okay, a fight and a half a year.
Yeah. 2 in 2024, 1 in 23, 3 in 22, 2 in 21, 2 in 20. Yeah, he's fighting decently often, like making money.
Yeah, getting paid at the end of the day. Like Junior said, God forbid get in the way of a man earning, innit?
Yeah, facts. Got to.
I mean, let a guy earn. But with that, I'll probably just talk about the boxing from last night.
Yeah, let's go.
So I won't kick it off from like the very first fight of the card. I'll just kick it off from like the first like not proper fight, but like fight that we're all interested in. So we had Virgil Ortiz v Madrimov at super welterweight, which was a good fight. I picked Madrimov to win that fight, and he didn't. That was because based off both of guys' previous performances, I sort of thought Madrimov would win. Madrimov last fight was against Terence Crawford, and he had a really good performance against Terence Crawford. So much so people were like, "Damn, Terence Crawford kind of looks not normal, but like human in that fight." Because Terence Crawford, he's used to like running through guys, and he didn't run through Madrimov. Madrimov done his thing and did well in parts in this fight, particularly early on in the fight. And Virgil Ortiz, who's unbeaten and current super welterweight world champ, in his last fight, he wasn't really sticking to his strengths early on in the fight and got dropped in the first round. Virgil Ortiz is like a typical Mexican boxer. He's like a high guard, inside fighter, brawler, walk you down. But he wasn't doing that at the start. He was trying to fight on the outside, try and be slick, and he got dropped. in his previous fight. And then once he got dropped, he's like, okay, let me lock in. And then he went on and won the fight. This fight was similar, where the early rounds, Madrimov was winning. But then Ortiz sort of, what he should have done from the get-go is stuck to his strengths, applying the pressure, kept Madrimov on the back foot, kept him moving. Ortiz kept with his high guard, throwing solid combinations, and forcing Madrimov to only really throw pot shots. And the pressure was clearly frustrating Madrimov throughout the fight and led to Madrimov doing stuff like headbutts and pushing and holding on. And the referee was like giving him multiple warnings, like stop pushing with your head and stuff. Later in the fight, Madrimov stopped like running around and bit down his gum shield because he knew he needed a finish at that point. It was late in the fight and he'd lost a number of rounds, knew he needed a finish. And Madrimov probably won the last 2 rounds. And I was thinking, and the commentator said, like, if Madrimov fought the last 2 rounds like he fought the first 10, he would have won the fight. But obviously, it's easier said than done in boxing. But Ortiz was the more effective fighter, landed better shots, and got the more solid work in and won the fight. Then we go on to the middleweight world championship right now. This card was stacked. Like, I'm talking this we're not even at the co-main yet, and we've already had 2 world title fights.
I did see some names that I recognised as well. That I was even like, oh, they're down there in the
literally,
card.
Literally, bro. So at middleweight we had Shiraz v Adames, and Shiraz is an unbeaten middleweight champion. But in this fight, Adames was the aggressor. He was following Shiraz around the ring a lot early on in the fight, but was throwing a high volume, but wasn't landing too much cleanly early on in the fight. Whereas Shiraz was quite cautious and was just trying to counter. But that was early on in the fight. By the second half in the fight, Shiraz started to land his jab a bit more, and the fight opened up, and both fighters were trading a bit more. But every time they would trade, Adames was more physical, throwing more shots, and was able to kind of bully Shiraz around a bit more. He controlled the pace and overall did the heavier work. Shiraz did have some good counter moments, but he wasn't active enough to win the fight. This fight was actually a draw. Now, in my opinion, Shiraz wasn't active enough to earn a draw. He didn't win enough rounds. I think this was like a robbery for Adames, and he should be pissed with that result. They'll do a rematch, but Adames should be pissed that was a draw because he won most of the rounds. He should have won that fight. And there was even a clip where, like, towards the end of the fight, between like the last couple rounds, Turki Al-Sheikh was going to Shiraz saying like he was like signaling like 2, like I've seen saying like you're down by 2 rounds or whatever, which is mad. Like, man shouldn't be telling him like the scorecards, but obviously these guys are all Muslims. They're all, got the brother style, innit?
And they want to back each other. Yeah, of course.
Facts. But it didn't. Well, I guess it did kind of work in the end because they got a draw, but it was a robbery still. Adames should have won that fight. But they'll probably do a rematch, and that'll be a decent fight. And if Shiraz can make the appropriate adjustments and sort of fight down his gum shield and, like Conor says, stand his base, if he can do that, then he can have a bit more success here. But it just depends on if the guy can make the appropriate adjustments in a rematch. We'll see. But like I said, Adames, he got robbed there. Then we've got another world title fight at lightweight. Shakur Stevenson against Padley. Now, Shakur Stevenson's a fighter with, insane amateur pedigree. He was a silver medalist at the Olympics, and as a junior, won damn near every championship there is to win as like a kid. World championships, nationals. As a kid amateur, basically won everything, right? And as a pro, he's still unbeaten. He's a 3-weight world champion. World championships at featherweight, super featherweight, and now is currently the lightweight champion. The WBC lightweight champion. He's coming under criticism recently because of his lack of power. He's not knocking guys out. He's a volume puncher, defensively brilliant, very quick, high IQ, but he's not knocking guys out. He's probably only got like a couple knockouts in his career. And he hasn't faced anyone super sort of. He's fought world champions, obviously he's a 3-weight world champion, but he's not faced any of the marquee names in his divisions. So he's at lightweight now, so he'll be looking at guys like Gervonta Davis, etc. These sort of guys. He hasn't fought that caliber of fighter yet, but in a few fights, he'll probably be looking at that because he's now a world champion or has been world champion. It's an interesting fight because Padley took this fight on very short notice. Padley's a British boxer. He doesn't even box full time. He was an electrician, bro. Dude got the phone call like last week saying someone's dropped out. Do you want to fight Shakur Stevenson in Saudi? A man's like, apparently when he got the call, he's installed in like a solar panel for someone, isn't it? So man got the call.
That's hilarious.
He's there. He's 15-0 as a fighter as well, but you look at the levels, like Shakur Stevenson's way higher level than him, and it kind of showed, to be fair. Shakur Stevenson was simply just too quick, too sharp, and too accurate for him. He landed clean shots at will and basically made Padley chase him around throughout the fight. To be fair to Padley, considering he was, in terms of boxing ability, so badly outmatched, he stayed scrappy and kept Shakur honest. Even though he was losing pretty much every round, he was still in the fight. As the fight progressed, Shakur started putting his punches together even more, attacking both the body and head. And his lack of power, in the end, didn't really matter because his precision, wore Padley down. And then the 9th round, he dropped him twice and then dropped him one more time. And then Padley's corner threw the towel in. But But people will criticize Shakur because you're like, this guy's an electrician and it took him 9 rounds to finish him. That'll be the criticism. But, he won the fight at the end of the day. Dropped him 3 times in the 9th round and then the corner threw the towel in.
He beat him dominantly, yeah, he beat him
dominantly. But obviously the guys are like, well, this guy's an electrician, you should be knocking him out in like 2 rounds. But that's not really Shakur's game, to be fair.
And that's not boxing as well.
It's not, and to be fair, Padley's I would say he's no bum, but like Padley's an unbeaten boxer as well. He's like 15-0, which, I mean, to be fair, at low level boxing doesn't mean a great deal because his first 5-10 fights was against people who didn't even have winning records, but still. Then we've got the co-main, which originally was supposed to be Joseph Parker v Daniel Dubois. Obviously, Daniel Dubois dropped out because of a virus illness, so he had to drop out. Then last minute, Martin Bakole stepped in, and Martin Bakole was regarded prior to this match a bit of a boogeyman for the heavyweight division. A guy who's got big wins over Jared Anderson, who's an undefeated American heavyweight. I think he was like 18-0 when he fought Bakole, and Bakole rocked his shit, spun his jaw, dropped him a couple times. And then before that, he beat Carlos Takam. Those are pretty much his only good wins on his record. And early on in his career, he lost to Michael Hunter, who's a guy at the time had huge sort of hype around him, was a Olympian boxer, a lot of amateur pedigree. I think was a world champion at cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. But Martin Bakole lost that fight. That was early on in his career. But now, he was sort of regarded as a boogeyman, and a lot of people were comparing him to like George Foreman. An old George Foreman, because he was like so big and had these concussive punches, like the thuds that you would hear when man was throwing punches, was crazy, right? But he took this fight on short notice. He looked very, very fat in this fight. He weighed in at over 300 pounds. But like I said, he was out. He wasn't in camp. His coaches were saying, yeah, he was training, but like you could tell, dude wasn't really training when he took this fight. He weighed in, I think he weighed in like 315 pounds. He just looked like some uncle in there, I'll be real.
How heavy?
315 pounds. Yeah. 315 pounds. And Joseph Parker, he came in looking sharp. He worked the jab. He was jabbing to Bakole's body, which I liked. And like I said, Bakole took the fight on short notice. He looked out of shape. And when you're watching the fight, it was clear that Joseph Parker is the only athlete in the ring, But as Parker started to, get more comfortable in the fight, he started increasing his output, closing the distance, pushing Bakole back, doing what Joseph Parker does, and got to a point. Joseph Parker sort of landed this overhand, this arching overhand shot to like the top of Bakole's head, rocked Bakole. Equilibrium was gone, put him on his ass, and I think the ref called it there, or his coach may have thrown in the towel because he was like, yeah, he's done. So that was a co-main. I was I thought Joseph Parker would win that fight, but I didn't think he'd be like that. To be fair, I thought it'd be a probably 12-round decision. Joseph Parker would be too good defensively for Bacoli to land his big shots on. I was not expecting a knockout, but Joseph Parker's not got pillow hands. You know, he's a big guy and he can bang. So Joseph Parker with the win there. And I guess what's next for Joseph Parker? He probably wants a rematch with Usyk, or even a rematch with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was there, so maybe a rematch with AJ. And he's unbeaten in Saudi. I think he's had 3 or 4 fights in Saudi Arabia now, and he's won all of them. The only losses in his career was to AJ, Usyk, and I want to say Tyson Fury.
He really only lost to the best of the best.
Yeah, he's only lost to top guys in the division.
And that AJ fight could be quite good to keep AJ relevant, and it's a fight he won. So.
And the first fight against AJ, it was close. It was competitive. It was competitive between the two guys. So a rematch with AJ could be a good idea. And obviously, like I said, Parker he's on a streak now. He beat Deontay Wilder. He's beaten Bacoli. You know, actually no, he lost to Joe Joyce. He didn't lose to Tyson Fury. He's friends with Tyson Fury. He hasn't fought that. He lost to Joe Joyce, which is mad. But Joe Joyce, he's a weird one because Joe Joyce he's beaten Joseph Parker and he beat Daniel Dubois. But both of those guys on paper are kind of better boxers than him.
Yeah, I remember that when Joe Joyce got his shit kicked in and he's just all smiling afterwards like it's all good. Like, what's wrong with him?
Bro, he's just something else.
He looks autistic, I'll be honest. He's on the spectrum.
He's slow. He's definitely slow. There's
something up with him.
The thing is, he's bare old as well. He must be like late 30s. He's one of these guys that turned pro really late in his career, to be fair to him. But a huge win for Joseph Parker there, and Bacoli's sort of stock from that fight has really gone down because people were like, okay, if he goes out there and loses the decision to Joseph Parker, it was short notice, there's no shame in that. But to get knocked out in the second round like that, you know, it's going to be hard for Bacoli to come back from. But he's a puncher with big power, so in heavyweight, anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen at heavyweight, and I guess if you're not super old, you can always make a comeback. But second round, not even really putting up any sort of a fight is kind of embarrassing, to be fair.
Yeah, but then the thing is, he took the fight on short notice as well. But still, okay, it was literally I think 3 days notice he took the fight. But yeah,
maybe it's one of the ones where that short notice was that bad, and if he'd have had a bit of a training camp, he would have been miles. But it could be like that at heavyweight. You know, if you don't have a training camp at heavyweight, you're just gonna look horrible.
Definitely. Because I'd imagine if he had a proper camp, he would not be walking into that ring at 315 pounds.
You're thinking he must have got decently paid for that.
Oh yeah, he would have got a fat payday for that in Saudi as well. Yeah, he would have got a fat payday. And that's what guys on X are saying. They're saying like he's ruined his hype for like a payday. Game is the game.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
If man had survived to at least like the 6th or 7th round, guys probably wouldn't be saying that too tough about him. But round 2 is crazy.
I think that's what people were expecting.
I mean, I know it's heavyweight, but round 2 is crazy.
Yeah, I think people were expecting that. Like, if he was to get stopped, it'd have to be like a bit later on in the fight. Like, surely he's not going to get stopped early on in the fight because that would be when he's most dangerous as well.
Yeah, you'd be thinking it's when he's tired out a bit and it's clear that the lack of camp is affecting him. But no, when he's early, he should really be fresh, even no matter how not ready he is. He's a professional boxer, a heavyweight. He should be ready.
Yeah.
So he's had big fights before. So
yeah. And then we get on to the main event: Bivol v Beterbiev 2.
I saw some of this fight. I saw a little bit of it here and there. I didn't see loads of it. There was definitely a lot of elements of the first fight in it, which I'm not surprised because these guys have like specific styles of boxing. Like, you're not going to expect a first fight and a second fight to be drastically different because both of these guys are basically going to fight similar fights. It's just going to be like how effectively can each guy implement their game plan. That's really what it came down to. Early on in the fight, similar to the first fight, Bivol came in with a lot of volume and movement and was clearly wary of Beterbiev's power.
early on, both guys pushed the pace a lot more than they did in the first fight. Bivol was picking his moments wisely, largely outworking Beterbiev. But as always, Beterbiev applied the pressure and found his rhythm, and he started to slow Bivol down a bit, especially towards the end of the fifth. And he was doing the kind of work that in the first fight was stealing him rounds. You know, I remember when we watched the first fight, like Beterbiev at the end of each round, the last minute, 30 seconds, he was just going ham, applying the pressure, throwing more shots, and that was nicking him rounds. He was doing similar things early on in this fight as well. And then ultimately, Bivol kind of found his second win in the 7th, 8th round and started to look sharp and more comfortable and was landing at will and sort of started to run away with the fight, started to put together some streaks. I mean, from the 7th round onto the 12th round, Bivol probably won every round, in my opinion. And especially, you know, by the end, Bivol was really implementing his game plan, and he was sort of showing, how can I say, like, his style, like traditional Soviet boxing, where it's a lot of lateral movement and like you'd move around a bit, stop, land punches, keep moving around, and your opponent wouldn't be able to sort of work out your rhythm, and he would just be walking onto your shots. Bivol was doing a lot of that and showing, like I said, that traditional Soviet style of boxing, which was
He was taking
very popular.
advantage of Beterbiev's pressure that way. Yeah,
Exactly, just walking onto shots, just walking onto a large volume of shots, and Beterbiev really didn't have any answer for it, really. And then by the time the time the bell rang for the 12th round, my immediate reaction was like Bivol was surely won this fight. And then he did. And Bivol was now the undisputed light heavyweight champion.
he definitely won in more convincing fashion than Beterbiev did in the first fight, and I think the third fight probably should be up next. Will Bivol be stripped of one of his belt if he fights Beterbiev again, or can they fight for all the belts he has?
I'm not sure what they'll do. I mean, Bivol's now got all the belts. Unless...
I mean, they might just think that Bivol won convincingly enough that they don't need to do another fight, considering obviously their last two fights were against each other.
Yeah, maybe. And Beterbiev's not young as well. Beterbiev's 40, bro.
Yeah, he's 40 years old.
He's 40, but he didn't look old in this fight at all. He performed very well, but like I said, it was just Bivol implemented his game plan more effectively and won the fight. I'd be interested to see if they were going to run it back. I would think they would run it back. It's 1-on-1. They do a third fight. I'd imagine Bivol would win that as well. But you never know. Stranger things have happened in boxing. But lightweight division's an interesting
they can just
spot.
decide on a whim that they're going to do a different fight, and that's what they're going to do. But you'd think that the most money is going to be in a trilogy fight.
Yeah. And obviously, I think Turkey Al-Sheikh, he'll put the money up and he'll get that third fight going. It was a pretty quick turnaround. All things considered, it was a pretty quick turnaround because they fought originally in like October, November time, didn't they?
Yeah, it was late last year.
And they're fighting again in February.
It was a very quick turnaround. You don't see that in boxing often.
You don't. They fought 24 rounds. And then I imagine from the sounds of it, from the commentator and from the media following that fight, it looks like they'll do a third fight, but we don't know until it's definitely confirmed. It was weird. It was a weird fight because at times it was very similar to the first fight. Because Bivol, even in the first fight, it wasn't a bad performance. That's the thing.
No, it was a good performance from Bivol. It was one of those fights where they could have called Bivol's name and you're not going to say it was a robbery or any type of controversial decision. No, either of them could have won that fight.
Yeah. I think, like you said, I think it was just more convincing fashion for Bivol in this fight than the first one. But yeah, there's a new undisputed light heavyweight champion, Dmitry Bivol.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it's like you said before that with Beterbiev's pressure, how he was just walking him onto his shots. That's what he was doing much better. And you also said that this fight was going to be similar to the first fight, and it was. But Bivol pretty much just did more of what he was doing in the first fight and better.
Yeah.
It was a similar thing, but just more and more effective.
It feels like Bivol was sort of less scared of his power as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the first fight, that Bivol was extremely wary of Beterbiev's power, and I do rate
Yeah,
Beterbiev's power, but I think Bivol needed to be a bit more confident, because not only is it affecting your work, but it's optics as well for the judges.
definitely.
They love the pressure fighters. They love those guys. They're gonna
Yeah,
give them rounds.
definitely. We saw that in the previous fights on the card. Ortiz was applying the pressure. He won the fight. Adamez was applying pressure. He should have won that fight. He didn't. But like typically, the guy who's applying the pressure wins, unless you're able to do like Bivol and effectively fight on the back foot, and at times stand your base and apply pressure yourself, which he done as well.
And
He
you land your own damaging shots, which he clearly did, because Beterbiev, he was beat up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely, yeah. Beterbiev, he had some marks on him, so we'll see how quick the turnaround is for that fight if they do a third fight. I don't imagine it'll be as quick as the second one, but when you've got Turkey Al Sheikh involved, money talks.
Yeah, of course. Money can make anything happen in boxing, really.
Facts.
We
It was a
know
good
that.
card, though. I mean, it lived up to expectations. There's a lot of cold fights on that card. The Majimov v Ortiz fight was good. The Joseph Parker and Bacoli knockout, that was a crazy knockout. And the main event lived up to expectations as well. It was a good card. So, I mean, you got to respect Turkey Al Sheikh. I don't care where his money comes from. Like, he can have slaves as long as you put on good boxing events. Who cares, isn't it?
No, that's what you like to see, because boxing is needed a bit of a revival.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, and you need the top guys fighting each other. That's what you need, and you didn't have that for a long time, and you're getting that back now. So
yeah, you definitely need less just waiting around for certain fights to happen magically, instead of actually making these fights.
yeah, before Turkey Al Sheikh, there's just too many fingers in the pie. So you'd have like Tyson Fury signed to Frank Warren, and then AJ would be signed to Eddie Hearn. And if Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn couldn't come to a deal, that fight couldn't happen. And there's a million examples of that throughout boxing. Then you get Turkey Al Sheikh saying, "What do we have to do to get this fight to happen?" Okay, AJ wants 50 mil, Tyson wants 50 mil. Independently, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn aren't trying to pay that, but Turkey Al Sheikh, that's a drop in the ocean to Turkey Al Sheikh, and he wants to see that fight, so he'll just make it happen.
Exactly. He wants to see that fight. It's not even about the money for him. It's about putting on Saudi, and that's exactly what they're doing.
I think even Dana White said it, like, the only way to save boxing, like, they needed someone who was so rich he didn't even care about making money to come in and fix it.
Yeah. Like him, just come in, drop hella money, put on hella. There's been I feel like in boxing before, you'd have 1 or 2 events per year that are big sort of hype events in boxing. But now with the Saudi, you're getting a good 3 to 4 at least.
Yeah, thanks.
So it's improving, because these fighters, they're there. These fighters have been there.
No, definitely, bro.
But now these fights are just getting made. And even when certain fights getting negotiated and heard about, people are more promised by it, and it feels more hype because people believe it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, and now Turkey Al Sheikh, he actually bought Ring Magazine. I don't know if you knew about that.
I think I might have heard about that, but
he bought Ring Magazine. So basically, now whenever like Ring Magazine report on like a rehab season fight being in talks, or like an event happening, you basically know it's gospel, because Turkey Al Sheikh
because they own it.
They literally own it. So anything he says, anything that comes out of Ring Magazine, you know it's facts. It was formerly owned by Oscar De La Hoya, and I think
okay,
yeah, facts. It was owned by Oscar De La Hoya, and I think like he was just not running it into the ground. To be fair, it's a hard business to make work nowadays. Like in 2025, no one's buying a magazine. You know what I mean? You're basically just have to be like an online news website, and maybe you've got like a podcast or whatever, or like X page that makes news. But it's going to be hard to like sustain an entire business off that. So again, just like these boxing fights, Turkey Al Sheikh had to come in, buy it up, and he can run it. He doesn't care if he makes a loss because he's making so much money, which is a bit mad. But
yeah, he's got so much wealth that is the money that he's putting into this boxing. It's nothing to him.
No.
What he's getting back in terms of his press and just attention, that's way more valuable to him.
Exactly. Well, because I mean, to him, the most important part is the influence and, you know, the celebrity that he's getting for it and the attention he's getting for Saudi. Like, you can tell the way that the fighters rate him as well. You can tell he rates that as well.
Yeah, and people rate that he's involved, and he's not like bare. Like he's there and he's in the ring and shit, but like, man's not. It's not so like all about him. It's semi about him, but it's not all about him. But it's alright because when man's saving boxing like he is, it's alright for it to semi be about him.
Facts, like man's he's putting it on his back and carrying the sport. You gotta respect it.
Yeah, for sure. And I personally have been way more interested in boxing since he's been getting involved.
Exactly, because he's putting on the big fights, bro. Unification bouts, world title bouts. You know, fights that everyone wants to see. You know, and you're seeing these other promotions work together more because they're making so much money. It'd be silly not to. Like it gets to a point where
it is literally a thing where they put their rivalries aside for the paycheck.
Yeah, because historically,
that's all they're after. Then that's all they argue about at the end of the day. It's all about money.
Historically, you wouldn't really get too much crossover between Frank Warren, Queensberry, and Eddie Hearn Matchroom. You wouldn't get too much crossover. Now it feels like every event is like a Rehab season, Queensberry, and Matchroom like co-production.
Which is good. It's cold. It makes for a better show.
Of course, bro. Of course. It means a lot more top contenders are getting their fights. It's cold. He's saving boxing, bro. He's saving boxing. Serious guy.
I think if this continues, like obviously it's giving more power to Saudi at the end of the day. But a thing like boxing, what else is it gonna do?
Exactly. And I think we're hearing that. Well, there's rumors that Turkey Al Sheikh is gonna like sign a deal with Al Heyman and PBC, which they're like probably one of the bigger promotions in America. They've got like Gervonta Davis, Errol Spence. Well, Al Heyman used to be a manager. He used to manage Floyd Mayweather. Now he's got his own promotion. Got loads of the American guys signed to them. A lot of the American world champions. And up until now, Al Heyman hasn't really done any deals with Saudi, and that's why you haven't seen guys like Gervonta Davis fighting Saudi yet. It looks like they want to be doing a deal to make that happen. And then again, if they do that deal, then the Gervonta Davis v Shakur Stevenson fight, that fight isn't far from happening. Because now you've got all of these guys under like the Riyadh season banner. Even more cold fights, even more cold events can happen.
Yeah, which I obviously rate because I do like boxing, but I just don't really rate the politics of boxing. But seeing as the politics of boxing are dying down because of the Saudi investment, it's allowing the politics to be put aside. It's making for much more actual boxing-based boxing instead of just it being all politics. So no, I like it. I rate it.
No, definitely. Obviously, we got your guy The Rock talking about his promo on SmackDown. That was a weird ass promo saying he wants to take his soul.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want that. I want.
Bro, that sounded pretty gay though. It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, who says it? How are you looking another man in his eyes saying you want to take his soul?
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be a situation where you're saying become my bitch, or it's just gonna be long for you.
Yeah, I think he kind of has to still at this point. At this point in Cody Rhodes' Cody Rhodes' run, he has to do something still. Because for me, it's getting stale. He either needs to lose the belt or a major change needs to be had. I've actually had a side quest episode talking about this, but Cody needs to sort of side with The Rock and turn heel. In my opinion.
Yeah, Loki, but he needs a reason to turn heel. He needs a catalyst.
Yeah, he does.
But he can't just be like, oh, okay, Rock, I'm just gonna come join you. That just doesn't make sense. He's been fighting against The Rock for years, so Doesn't make sense for him to just out of nowhere go, "Oh, I'm going to join you." There needs to be, some sort of reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, like have like his missus be like storyline pregnant, and then I don't know, someone like makes her have a miscarriage or something in it, and then The Rock's like, "I can help you. We can get them together." And then Cody Rhodes just like, "Yeah, all right, like I'll come. I don't care anymore." And that's that. You know what I mean?
He's gonna go full Homelander, and The Rock's gonna be Stan Edgar, innit?
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. Well, I might say, where would it even go, innit?
Oh, you got to though.
That was a bar. Really, he's a sidewinder though.
Well, called him side. That's just such disrespect on his name.
Imagine that. How could Marvel fumble it so bad though? You've got one of the colder actives of a generation in the
He was
MCU.
even a cold villain in The Mandalorian. Like, even they managed to make him a cold villain. So
Yeah.
the fact that you're fumble. So did you actually go and end up seeing Captain America with the companion?
No, I haven't seen it still. No, I ain't been feeling too good. I'll be real.
Yeah,
It's probably since at the start of the week, maybe like Tuesday. I ain't been feeling too good. So I've been
Stone has
staying.
been under the weather.
Facts. I've been staying in the crib. I'm not trying to do too much. But game is game at the end of the day.
Oh, you can't be doing too much when you're ill like that. You know what I mean?
Facts. Ain't been rassing it.
We're still coming to you with the pod though, of course.
Got to. I've still been dropping the side quest episodes, and it's still got the pod. But that's mandatory. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Just how it is. The side quests never stop. Podcasts never stop. Episode 19 now. Mad. Come a long way, innit? Facts. Need to get that guest lined up soon. Come, innit?
Well, your guy, what's his name? Orlando Brown.
Oh right. I mean, if we got the bread to pay for him to jump on a Discord call, he would do it still.
So just ask him nicely, innit?
What, like say, like, please, Mr. Brown, like we'd love you on our podcast. Just glaze him,
huge
innit?
fans of you for years. Yeah.
Right. Maybe
Why
he would
not?
do it still. If he's got like a spare hour or half an hour or something to jump on a call with us.
Guess I don't know. If fans getting bookings like that though, maybe not.
Facts. I mean, dude's getting paid still. I think for one of the streams, they said like he made. I don't think he's not getting paid that much, but like a couple grand. I mean, to be fair, a couple grand to jump on a stream is worth it, bro. I would do that.
Yeah, for a couple grand for like an hour, then maybe.
You know what I mean? Just jump on a stream and chill with a guy, like make some jokes.
You don't even
That's
have to.
pretty good.
Maybe you don't even have to travel nowhere either. You just.
Yeah. I think to be fair, the ones he does do, for the most part, they are in person, in it. But for us, if we're like, yeah, we'll give you like a pinky, you just jump on a Discord call. Nah, that pinks. That's a spit in the face to a guy like him.
That'll be disrespect.
What's he gonna spend a pinks on? Like a couple pebs, isn't it?
Guess so, innit? Because you say he's a pretend crackhead.
That is what he said.
He's actually a crackhead. What? That he's a crackhead or pretend crackhead?
A pretend crackhead. He said like, for if you pay him like a couple thousand, he'll come on your stream and act like a crackhead and talk about like conspiracy theories and all that.
If that's his business acumen, then I rate it. You know,
you gotta respect the hustle at the end of the day, innit? You gotta respect the hustle, bro.
because that's that's quite smart. Because you'll get clip farming.
Facts, bro. I mean, that's on our Insta when we're sending each other clips, like it's Orlando Brown clips. Got a clip farm, innit? That's what we're doing with the podcast, though. Clip farming.
Yeah, you got a clip farm.
Now, what I want to do though is I want to hire like one of these ethnic minorities, shall I say, and I want to be like to them. They're like, you just need to take our YouTube shorts, upload them to TikTok, and like once you get the page big enough to monetize it, you just get like 30 or 40% of the revenue, and you just upload our clips.
Yeah, low-key, give them motivation to work.
Facts. Facts. Get them, get them enough money to pay for some curries. These ethnic minorities, and then there you go.
Yeah, no, for real. Let them stink out their gaff with curry. Who cares, isn't it? It's their business.
For real. Exactly, bro. And then, once the page is big enough, they'll be getting paid a nice chunk of the money as well. Obviously, we're getting the lion's share because it's our content. But all they have to do is upload, do the description, hashtags, whatever, titles for the TikTok. Because even if I'm uploading them to YouTube and he just downloads them straight from YouTube and then puts them on TikTok, I mean, at the moment, we've got, 5 or 6 shorts dropping a day, bro. And obviously, backdated from when we started the podcast, hundreds of shorts at this point. But yeah, that's a good idea, but finding one of these ethnic minorities, that's the problem. So okay,
there's got to be websites out there where there's like essentially like like Craigslist, isn't it? Like where guys are just on doing odd jobs and that.
Yeah, like Fiverr. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, if you're from India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, get in touch, innit?
Yeah, you have to be from one of them countries, though.
Facts, because it's worthwhile for you, innit?
Yeah, because you'll get the money you get from a UK account.
Fact.
You get some of that. That's a good percentage for you. You're living life out there in I don't know what them cities are, Mumbai or whatever.
Yeah, facts, or New Delhi or whatever the fuck.
For real. You're living life, you're living it up.
Yeah. But your rent paid, one day's work, you got your rent paid for like 6 months.
You can't complain.
Facts.
6 months.
What a life, innit?
What a life, eh?
We should do that though. Might look into it still on Fiverr. Tell them no money up front, innit? No money up front. Once you get monetized, you can get 30% of the thing. Then they might be like
paying man just to
slave
away on shorts.
Facts. Business at the end of the day, innit? It's guys like, to be fair, guys like that, they would be dying for that sort of opportunity as well. But it should be likely. In theory, innit?
Yeah,
you know how people are nowadays.
Yeah, just want to be different, innit? Trying to be different, man. Work for free, man. Why are you trying to be different?
Facts. Work for free, and then when the time's right, you can get nice paydays out of it.
Yeah, you just trust in the investment.
You got to trust the process, innit? Like Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Man, like Joel Embiid missing more games than he's played for the Sixers.
Yeah, he's just a Neymar of NBA, innit?
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty good comparison, thinking about it.
Yeah. Such a shame, innit? All the talent in the world, innit? But soft as hell.
Yeah, you can tell he's that type of guy as well.
Yeah, softer than a biscuit, innit?
That type of bitch.
Yeah.
Like, even like he's more of a bitch than Karl Anthony Towns, really. Even Karl Anthony Towns is a bitch.
Yeah.
The way he moves and that.
What do man say after all that, innit?
Yeah. After all that. Have you heard him like screaming after he gets fouled and that? After he thinks he got fouled. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh man.
I don't know. Why good?
Right. If you say that on X, you'll get the account locked off, innit?
Oh, you're trying to attack someone.
Facts. I didn't even crash out on Elon, to be fair. I should have done, but I didn't. But,
yeah, low-key, you should have done it.
Yeah. But, the X account's back now. Like 380 followers.
Still out here.
It's still out here. I think we're nearly at like 23k posts, which is mad.
Who cool you'd be on if you didn't get that pattern?
Exactly, bro. I'd be on like
30k.
Nah, maybe not. No, I wouldn't do like 7k posts in a week. That would be nuts. A 1k post a day. To be fair, you actually see people that do like 500 posts a day.
Spend their life on X. Yeah, spend their life.
They must do. That's the only way you're able to do that. Surely.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, because there's no way you've got a full-time job and you're posting that much on X.
Yeah, no way in it.
I try and get in 100 posts a day. You know,
Yeah, that's
occasionally.
respectable work. You know, I mean, that's like you're mashing work on it. You're not abusing
Yeah.
it though. You're not spending your life on there,
Nah.
as you shouldn't. Really.
Occasionally,
No one should be
occasionally
spending their
you'll get
life.
like a crazy day where I'll get like 200 posts in a day. Occasionally, but
That's when you really
once I
feel like you got something to say though. Like,
facts and once start to get paid, then. But even then, bro, I see these guys with like half decent accounts, guys with like 7, 8, 9, 10K followers. They're getting paid like a couple bills every couple of weeks, so they're probably making like 3, 4 bills a month off X.
which is nothing crazy, but that's like, you know, respectable work, I suppose.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is this, right? Deep it. Let's say that was your job and you're doing X full time, right? And you're making 4 or 5 bills a month, right? And then you're on like, and you quit your job, and then you're on like UC, another 3, 4 bills a month.
You can
You're
make a nice
making
little.
you're making about a rack a month without working a job. That's not too bad.
Oh, you can definitely do a nice little hustle there.
Yeah.
Get the
And then
UC, yeah, take advantage of the government.
facts. And then with my back, I can tell them, yeah, disability as well. Eating, innit?
Yeah, actually, you go to a next appointment and they just play that clip.
Yeah, facts. That's why you got to be using fake names, innit?
Is this you? Innit? Remember, is this you?
Facts. We track this to your IP address, innit? Nah, never be me, but
No, but
I
your
mean,
guy, your guy Cody Rhodes does need to turn heel, innit?
no, he does. He's been teasing it. He's been moving a bit more tapped recently, but he just needs to go full Homelander still.
Yeah, we need something different. We can't have this same old, cheesy smile every week. Just, I think they're
Yeah,
like hoping that the crowd are just gonna turn on him, and then that be the reason for man turning heel. But they're not really turning on him.
and not really still. I mean, you can
I mean, they're
definitely
kind of
tell
just
that the
being more quiet, but like not
yeah,
like
that's it. You can tell that the reaction
ain't no
has
booze or nothing like that.
nah, not yet. But you can tell the reaction definitely is like dampening towards him.
Because he's just
Like
doing the same thing every week.
exactly, man's just out here champion, same promo. You know, pretty much not really got any sort of
There's no direction.
clear.
He's just
No,
defending against Kevin Owens, doing this, doing that, tag match.
yeah, for real, for real.
When was the last time man didn't wrestle on a freaking pay-per-view? PLE.
I don't even know.
When
You
was the
should
last
put
time
Raw.
man wrestled on like a Raw or something?
Yeah, he very, very rarely wrestles on TV. But that's sort of like the fallout from like the Brock effect, isn't it? Where you'd have a world champion, even if he was on TV, like he's probably not wrestling, and it was the same for Roman when he was champion for like
I guess
4
with
years.
Brock and Roman, I guess it's kind of part of their character, but
You can't
but
really be
like
doing.
Cody,
You
a
can't
guy
really
like
boss him
Cody's
into it.
supposed to be like a people's champion, like
Yeah,
supposed to be like a fan favorite guy.
yeah.
I should be out here, but no. Just sort of beefing the shitty bloodline who no one cares about anymore since Roman left.
Facts. And maybe they'll do a thing with that. Maybe they'll be like The Rock and Cody will lead the new bloodline, but the new bloodline, I feel like they're going to be done pretty soon still because Jacob Fatu's probably going to turn on Solo, and
Yeah.
then there's no one left still. Because I don't know what's happened with obviously Tamatonga's there, but I don't know what happened with Tonga Loa. He's not even hardly even see my man nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, and
He's the
Solo
worst.
showing that man was a decent enforcer for Roman, but like man's trying to lead his own thing, it ain't really working.
There's always going to be tough shoes to fill, isn't it?
But he has history with a couple guys that he could, have a little program with, like Jey Uso or something. But Jey Uso seems like he's onto bigger and better.
Who's Solo?
Nah, Jey Uso.
What Jey Uso and Solo, or Jey Uso?
Yeah,
And,
Jey Uso and Solo could have a nice little rivalry, but obviously Jey Uso's on to bigger and better now.
yeah, facts.
Which, respect.
Really had Jey Uso win the Royal Rumble though.
I guess it's better than Cody winning it 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row.
Yeah, well, Cody wasn't going to be WWE champion and then win the Royal Rumble. That would be
imagine.
Just the ultimate sort of protect job. Just having
it's just a new Hulk Hogan. Like.
Facts. The WWE, they would have it as this, right? They would have him as WWE champion, have him win the Rumble, then face Gunther, then win the World Heavyweight Championship, then unify them. But what, innit?
They couldn't be doing that.
Just to have him be over. But they done that already with They did that already.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
With Roman.
I guess it gets to the point where when them two belts are together, what's the point of them even being separate?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that title unification stuff never goes well.
Very rarely. Yeah, very rarely. But yeah, because it's like in MMA when you've got a two-weight world champion. It's just like you just got a guy sort of holding up the whole thing.
Holding up one of the holding up shit. Yeah, holding up one of the shows, holding up one of the weight classes.
For real. But they did that with Roman because with the Universal Championship and the WWE title, they had him unify it and then become the champion, and then now they've got 2 world championships again. Just I
guess when you have like a guy like Gunther who has his own, I'm not gonna say he's as big as Cody or anything like that, but he has his own appeal and his own audience that he brings in. So it's like he's definitely a world champion caliber talent to have that type of title.
No, he is.
And I feel like that belt, even though it shouldn't really enhance people the way it does, but it kind of does sometimes. Whether
the World
it's
Championship,
Championship or the WWE Championship.
Yeah, because Gunther was the Intercontinental Championship champion.
Yeah, mad long reign he had. But he even enhanced that title as well.
Exactly, but he does feel like more of a main eventer now that he's got the World Heavyweight Championship. It definitely does add. It definitely is like aura farming, isn't it?
Yeah, facts.
Like they said with Gene Silver, he won via aura farming, innit?
Fact, not aura. You can't tell me it doesn't matter in everything. Of course, aura matters.
Facts. Well, you got a light heavyweight world champion who's just purely champion of aura. I mean, obviously he's knocking guys out, but
he's still aura farming the whole team.
But will he be able to do that the same thing against Ankalaev though? That's the real question.
Yeah, I think so.
But guys are saying like obviously Drake curse, a man's still in Australia apparently, and he's only like a couple of weeks out from the fight. Is he even locked in like that? But just have to see.
Maybe he doesn't even need to be locked in like that.
That's the thing. When you've got that sort of power, and the thing is, it's not like Pereira's new to training camps. Like a training camp for him is literally just going to be like sharpening the tools at this point. Probably, to be fair, the same for Ankalaev as well, because one camp, you're not going to completely change your style. You're not going to become an entirely different style of fighter. It's just probably working more on like strategic stuff and implementation of game
specific matchup, matchup based techniques.
Because as a fighter, at this point, you are what you are. You know,
especially them two. Yeah, Pereira at his age and Ankalaev, the amount of fights he's had.
Yeah. Even though Ankalaev's not even much of a wrestler, you would think anyone with half a brain cell, you'd be like, wrestle him, innit? But
I guess in MMA sometimes these fighters don't have a bunch of brain cells. I'll be honest.
That's a fact.
Would I be surprised if that fight started and Ankalaev did nothing but strike with him and get knocked out in the second round? No, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I wouldn't be either. I agree.
And a lot of people do think just because his name is Magomed Ankalaev, that automatically means he's a grappler first, and he's not.
No, he's not.
He's a striker first. He can grapple and has in the past, but he's a striker first. So unless man is willing to go away from what he usually does to beat Pereira, he's going to lose.
You would think in a world championship fight, If you're going to do that in any fight, it's going to be in a world championship fight.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
You would, didn't it? So you get a guy like Yuri and a guy like Khalil. They are strikers, isn't it? So it was always going to be a striking battle because Khalil's not going to go for a takedown. Yuri's probably not going to go for a takedown on Pereira either. So it was kind of a non-factor there. Ankalaev, and like you said, even though he's not a grappler first, you would just assume it just makes sense, isn't it? Like, why would you voluntarily strike with my man?
But would you also not think, even if you think of yourself as a striker and as someone who would not grapple, you would you would still try and do that against him?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
So the fact that nobody else has probably tells me that there's a good chance Ankalaev won't go straight to that.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm a Yuri, especially after the first fight, if I'm Yuri, I'm trying to mix in some grappling. If I'm Jamal Hill, I'm trying to mix in some grappling. If I'm Khalil, I'm trying to mix in some grappling because even the threat of it can make you more dangerous on the feet. So I would see that there's no reason for you to not do it unless you're essentially just saying it as a ego sort of thing where, I'm not going to grapple. Which is, I think, what the case was with Yuri, Jamal, and Khalil, where they're like, no, I'm not a grappler, I'm not going to grapple.
But also, with guys like Yuri and Jamal, they didn't have the chance to because man knocked them out pretty early on in the fight.
Yeah.
You know, because he knocked out Jamal in the first round, didn't he?
They're still even the way man's going. Why not just shoot for a takedown in the first 5 seconds?
He may as well, to be honest, because like I said, even if he defends it, the fact that Pereira's now thinking about that, it can open up new opportunities on the feet.
Definitely. But I guess it's number one, it's easier said than done, and number two, you know, are any of these guys? I mean, we're saying this as if, you know, you grapple Pereira once, then you're going to win the fight. Like, are these guys even good enough to out grapple Alex Pereira? Probably not. You know,
that's the thing. The only guy that's really done it is Jan, isn't it?
Yeah, guy who's been grappling his entire career and is much larger than Pereira.
Yeah.
So maybe a guy like Ankalaev who probably matches Pereira in size and has grappling experience.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to run back that fight still with Jan. Because that was a close fight.
Jan's just so inactive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's old as well.
And his last fight was against Pereira.
Yeah.
That was his last fight.
I should be waiting for that rematch, bro, because I'm surprised because that's the only guy Pereira's, apart from Izzy, that's the only guy outside of Izzy where he's kind of looked like he could lose the fight
himself. Yeah, I like heavyweight as well, where all of his other fights have been pure smoke shows.
Yeah, and Jan beat Izzy, of course, as well. I think it's something to do with Jan's style. Obviously, he's a grappler as well, but he's not. I think we sort of assumed if you're going to beat Pereira on the feet, you've got to be.
Even against his fight against Izzy, he didn't win just by laying on him and taking him down. He was doing good on the feet as well. He was very competitive on the feet with Izzy.
I don't know. It's weird because obviously you look at a guy like Izzy and a guy like Pereira, and you're like, in terms of strike and accolade, these guys would or should outclass Jan. Jan, he's just got these good fundamentals. He's not air quick. It's just fundamentals, solid fundamentals. He's just effective, which is more than I can say for DDP. But that's another time. That's for another conversation, isn't it?
Just drew him out for no reason.
Ending strays, isn't it?
Literally.
Got to, bro. Got to. Yeah, man. That fight's March. It's around my birthday, I think. But yeah.
What, the Ankalaev?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the, other than the Jan fight, you think it's going to be one of the more competitive fights he's going to have at light heavyweight.
Yeah. Because if Poatan beats Ankalaev, there's not really anyone else, is there?
No, there's nobody else.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like Umar and Marab. You're like, if Marab beats him, there's not really anyone else.
No, I mean, because you run through most of the top guys, and so unless you're going to rematch somebody, what are you really going to do?
To be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing a Khalil v Pereira rematch, but that's probably not going to happen. I like to see it purely because of the stylistic, but
Yeah, I think Khalil getting a title shot in the first place was quite lucky, and so
it definitely was.
But he'd have to beat one of those top light heavyweights to get another title shot.
Yeah, which
I'm really not sure if I see him. He could beat Jamal.
Yeah.
Jamal, his thing is like Yuri thing is like so good. It's so crazy because it shows how good Pereira is. Because look at what Pereira did to Yuri and Jamal. Yeah. But those guys are both really good. And
top of the division.
It shows how much better Yuri is than Jamal because what he did to him as well. But Jamal is also in himself really good. And I think he'd beat Khalil, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a good fight.
And that's the thing with Khalil, because he's so one-dimensional. It means that he's a tough matchup for a lot of guys, but also means he's beatable as well.
Yeah, but he's very beat. He's been beaten a good few times. Guys who aren't that good as well.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Like, he really beatable, but like you said, it's just his certain style that he has. It allows him to succeed in certain matchups.
Let's do a rematch with him and Anthony Smith, innit?
Oh, he's fighting some Chinese guy, isn't he?
Anthony Smith? Oh.
Yeah.
I would think after the comments that TJ made about him, she would just retire, but... Oh.
You think so, innit? But...
Yeah, facts. He's beefing Rampage and them man now, isn't it?
Some guys think, I guess they got more of an ego than you might know.
I did rate what Anthony Smith said about the Jackson podcast with Bryce Mitchell, because they invited Bryce Mitchell onto the podcast and they're like, we're not going to give you a platform to explain yourself. Like, why even invite him on then?
That's what I was saying, because why
invite him on just to clown him? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, I think MMA Guru summed it up best. They were trying to get like a dunk on him. They were trying to be like, oh, look at this scumbag. We're not scumbags. Yeah, look at him. This sort of thing. But yeah, why even invite man on, like, for man to be like, all right, let me just say this, and then to say, no, we're not going to give you a platform, brother. No.
The thing is, it's not even Rampage. It's the other guy.
Yeah, like, he's the guy that he pays for everything. He runs his dad's like a billionaire or something.
Oh man, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Bro. Oh, man, isn't it? That's for some, innit?
For real.
Yeah, I was wondering. You could tell there was some money behind it. You could tell someone there had some money. Rampage wasn't putting up all that bread for the podcast and to get all these guests.
Like, it's my man. I think Rampage is essentially just a guest or a co-host, because I think my man owns all the everything. You're probably paying for certain guys to fly out and
definitely
paying for guys' hotel or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably using Rampage. He's got
it's like a platform. He probably is boys with Rampage, isn't it? I'm not questioning that. They probably are boys, but obviously using Rampage, you have his connections, his friendships, and people know Rampage, you know.
Yeah.
People know and like Rampage, so.
Yeah, and a lot of fighters have respect for him as well. You can tell, apart from Kevin Holland, didn't it?
Well, yeah, obviously. I'm just surprised on your knowledge of what a 45-70 is.
Facts. What did man say? If we're not talking about a 45-70, shut the fuck up, innit?
Yeah, you tell me shut the fuck up. Well, that was funny.
Did have to lose some ratings for Kevin Holland after that still.
Yeah, I don't know why he was moving it so wet, to be honest.
Facts.
Yeah, there's really no need to be doing all that.
For real, because
a guy like Rampage as well, like, come on, man.
You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna come out of it? Like, Rampage isn't gonna fight. Like, what? Like, I don't even know what he's expecting. You know what I mean? To come of that.
And really, like, if he beats up Rampage on his own podcast, he looks like a dickhead, because why are you beating up some, like, 45, 50-year-old retired fighter on his podcast?
Facts.
And even if he gets beaten up by Rampage, it's even worse, bro. Let, like, a 50-year-old fighter punch you up, like.
Yeah, it's even
worse. That's really like a lose-lose situation. Like, what's man gonna do, you know?
Facts. That's exactly it. That was exactly it. It was a lose-lose situation, but man went ahead with it anyway.
Yeah, I guess he seemed like he had some sort of gripe with something going into that podcast. I don't know. You can tell by the look on his face. He just.
No, definitely did. Definitely did.
And since when
Yeah,
back in the day, man said that, oh, I don't care about winning the belt. I'm just this and that. I'm like, bro, you actually have some talent and you can do something. And your mentality, the fact that you want to fight so often, that's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's not a good mentality because if you're just fighting anyone, and that's how you end up fucking fighting Thiago Santos in like your third UFC fight. And you're welterweight fighting Thiago Santos, you nearly beat John Jones.
Yeah, I guess it's a good mentality if you're like him, where you're like you don't really care.
Yeah, if you don't really care about being a champ, you just have hella fights in your first year or two. Run your contract up. Before you know it, you're making like 100 bags just to lose to someone.
Yeah, and like you're never going to become world champion. But like you said, he's not bothered. If he's not bothered about that, then you're making. I mean, each year he's probably making 7 figures now a year.
Yeah, which is nice.
Because actually, I don't even know. I mean,
he wins some. He does win. I mean, he's on a bit of a losing streak, but he wins some. So if he's making like 150 to show, 150 to win, maybe he gets a couple performance bonuses here and there. Like, like a couple of years ago, definitely making 7 figures. But then since he's not been winning like that, probably maybe not 7 figures, but still good money for a fighter. You consider a man's losing all his fights as well.
Facts, and I guess the way man is now, like he's probably not living a lifestyle that's like bare different. So, if he made like 7 figures a couple years ago, and he's still consistently making 6 figures a year, he's eating, bro. Like say we made like a mil, like 3 or 4 years ago, and each year after that we're making 500-600k a year, bro. We're comfy still.
100%. And considering you're not even like, I know fighters do have costs, but there's guys fighting in the UFC that for like 15 and 15. Like, come on, bro. 30 grand if you win your fight, and you're out here fighting 3 or 4 times a year, 150 grand just to show.
Yeah, 15 and 15.
And that's not including like online sponsorships and all adverts and other type of ways you're making money as well.
Yeah, man, 15 and 50, bro, it's mad. It's tough being a fighter, G. I wouldn't, especially if like you're one of these low-level guys, and you're one of these guys that are probably never gonna reach the heights of like even a Kevin Holland, where he's probably got a decent celebrity, decent influence, and he's getting paid multiple 6 figures a fight. If you're just one of these guys where like the max you'll ever earn is like say 50 and 50, and you're only fighting, and you're like Kutalaba, and you only fight once or twice a year. And assuming you win both those fights, which may not even happen, you might not even win both those fights. It's a struggle still.
Yeah,
especially
I agree.
In America as well, because if you're over here in the UK saying you're making 100 grand a year, it's a lot of money. Obviously, that's a lot of money. Even in America, that's a lot of money, but it's not the same, innit? Because they get taxed. They get paid. They actually pay a lot more in taxes in America, even though we pay a lot of tax here. Because they get taxed at like a state level and the federal level. Obviously, they pay for their own healthcare as well. Yeah, it's mad. And obviously, you've got managers to pay, coaches, all these things. Yeah, can get very techie. Very techie very quickly still. The same with boxing as well. I mean, low-level boxers aren't getting paid hardly anything. If I wanted to, right? If I wanted to turn pro, I could probably pay like a journeyman 4 or 5 bills to fight me.
Yeah, that's crazy how that works as well.
It's mad because I would be paying him to fight me. Imagine that.
Basically saying like, just come get smacked up by me.
Yeah.
Here's the money, here's the purse percentage, whatever it might be. I'm going to front the purse.
Yeah, facts. I could actually do that as well, because if I went to a promoter saying, yeah, like, I'm going to sell this amount of tickets, and I'm going to make, I want this percentage of the tickets I sell, I'm going to pay for my own opponent, they would let me do that, because there's no risk to them, there's no downside to them.
I'm guessing that's all just, how it works.
Yeah, at low levels, yeah. Like, I would be 0-0, and I'd face someone whose record is like 3-30.
Because they're so shit, and they're essentially, it is a thing where it's not fixed, but it's fixed. You know,
It's like an unspoken.
everyone knows what's there to happen. Like, yeah, man could win, but like he's not going to.
I mean, like you can tell from the get go. Like as soon as I like throw a couple punches, man's covering up, going into the corner. Like
Because he knows what it is. He's there to lose. Yeah, he knows what it is.
What he's hoping for is he gets paid and he just doesn't take too much damage. That's what he hopes still.
And that's what their careers are. They just fight bare often, make a few bills per fight bare often, just don't take bare damage. You know, if you know if the guy's better than you, just basically just lose the fight and then move on to the next one with no damage.
Mad.
That's how you make somewhat of a career out of that level of boxing, I suppose.
I'll do that, get to like 15-0. And I've signed a deal with Matchroom or Frank Warren. I'll be like, yeah, give me a couple fights, get me to like fringe world championship, then get me a big fight against AJ. I'll clear like multiple six figures, maybe $1 million, and then I'll lose that fight and then I'll retire. I
can definitely see you as the type of fighter that like ends up working for them afterwards. After you retire, you end up working for them, start booking your own fighters.
Like an analyst, like Anthony Smith, innit?
Not like that, but
okay. Not like that.
Better than that, come on now.
Oh, can't be the next Lionheart, innit?
Nah, man, Lionheart, what a nickname.
No, if the man, I'd be on it though. I'd be cool with it. I'd be a nice little matchmaker still, building up stars. I do it on WMA anyway. I've actually got WMA open actually. I think I've got 3 unbeaten world champions.
Well.
I've got 3 unbeaten world champions as well, bro. Sometimes when you build these guys up, you sign them at 1-0, 2-0, build them up.
You know what you're gonna have to do, yeah? Cool. You're gonna have to like copy and send me your save file so I can just explore it.
Oh yeah, I can do that, innit? Yeah. I should do that still.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's
so
cold,
I can just explore it.
Yeah. See the vacant super middleweight championship.
Super middleweight, I love it. Super middleweight is cold.
I think it's getting a bit techy. I'm not even sure how long I'm gonna keep it around because when I sign guys, obviously there are either middleweights or light heavyweights in the game. Then I have to manually put them into the super middleweight division.
And that's the longer part because then you have to find out what everyone's walking weights are and if they can make the weight class and
because I'll sign guys at light heavyweight thinking they can cut to super middleweight and they can't. And I've just now added. I mean, to be fair, I've added another guy to light heavyweight. That's not bad because light heavyweight is probably my smallest division, but still.
Yeah, I can tell you right now how many fighters are in each of my weight classes.
Yeah,
if I have a look.
Well. But you have got a 4-weight world champion though.
yeah, he's doing his thing. Featherweight, flyweight has 35 fighters.
Okay.
Bantamweight has 59. Featherweight has 83. Lightweight has 102. Welterweight has 107. Middleweight has 98. Light heavyweight is 100. And heavyweight has 107.
Yeah, you got a huge company still.
Yeah, and it also is a thing where like half of those guys are just absolute bums who will fight like maybe once a year, twice a year.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with that's with me as well. Like I've got bare guys who are just inactive that haven't fought in like a couple years, and I'm getting emails saying they're demanding fights, but I'm just skipping through the days.
So many demand email fights, so many demand fight emails. Yeah,
and my company's way smaller than yours as well. I've got less fighters, less weight divisions, and I'm getting bare of those emails, so I can only imagine what it's like in your team.
Yeah, it's better because I have like a guy who we like Owen. He'll be like on a 3-fight losing streak, asking me that he's demanding a fight with the champion. So,
nice.
Yeah, definitely gonna do that. I know.
Hey, but sometimes you have to give your champions a layup, bro.
Or just give you some unranked, just bum.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done that for champions that I wanted to build up, getting them enough title defenses. I've done that.
My champions always fight the next best contender.
How do you think Vlad Kogan had like 12 title defenses?
Oh, that is crazy. You know, good sister, he's being built up for me, but if he ever wants to become champion, he's going to have to beat multiple pound-for-pound fighters.
Is your middleweight division that stacked?
Let me see where my middleweights are ranked. So my middleweight champion is number 12 pound for pound, number 1 middleweight in the world.
Okay.
My Second, rank number 2, he's fighting for the belt next. He's number 10 pound for pound, number 4 middleweight in the world. My number 3 is number 16 in the pound for pound rankings, number 5 in the world. Number 4, my middleweight division, he's number 8 in the pound for pound rankings, number 3 middleweight in the world. Ranked 4th middleweight, who was my former champion, number 22 pound for pound, number 7 in the world. So yeah, if man wants to become champion, or even number 7 as well, yeah, this guy's the number 9 middleweight in the world, not ranked in the pound for pound though, but if he wants to become champion in this weight class, he's even if you look in like the ranked 11 to 17 range, you've got guys who are good, man. Number 17 middleweight in the world, ranked number 15 in my company.
That's pretty cold still. That is cold.
Yeah, Vlad Kogan is ranked number 24 right now, so.
What is he, 19-2 or something, did you say?
He's 23-1.
That's cold still. That's a cold record.
Yeah.
It's a seriously cold record still.
Yeah, I signed him when he was 1-0.
That's what needs
He's
to be
still
done,
only
though.
26.
Yeah, he's a youngin' still. You're gonna keep developing until, you know.
Bro, man's
30.
getting paid though.
Of course, bro. You gotta keep him sweet.
Yeah, he's a high-level international on his name value. So.
Facts. You can have him main event in your fight night cards.
Yeah, facts. Main event in fight night cards, co-main event or feature fight on the pay-per-views.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I do it. But yeah, I just ranked him up against the guy, matched him up against the guy ranked directly above him.
Right.
So yeah, it should be more build up for him. Yeah, he'll lose. He'll definitely lose eventually.
Yeah, of course. I think that's happens with everyone in WMMA eventually, isn't it? Everyone
Yeah,
eventually.
no one is just gonna have the fun way out.
Facts. Everyone sticks around for too long, innit?
Yeah, because even my heavyweight champion, this guy Lars Gunnar Ekberg, he was like 25-0. Let me see. You know, he was 25-0 as my champion with 6 title defenses, and then he got knocked out, won a fight, and then got knocked out again by the champion who was the champion that didn't beat him. So it was a fresh matchup, and he got knocked out by another guy.
Yeah.
So man's just not falling off. Man's 26-2, not falling off, but clearly not who he used to be. I rate that because WMMA is so realistic in that way. Guys can lose for no reason when it doesn't make sense. Random shit happens, just like real life MMA.
Facts. And then often with guys, like obviously they're later on in their career, they start to decline, and then guys who are once like world champions or world champion contenders, they start to lose to guys who are like ranked a lot lower than them, and then that's sort of like the beginning of the end for them, which happens in real life as well.
Yeah, it definitely happens, and then obviously you can have guys that it's all in their sort of settings and their mental stats. How late they retire? Will they back it up after a couple of losses? What will happen to them? It's all linked in with their perks and their stats on this game. That's why I like this game so much. It makes for really, really unique characters.
Facts.
Love it.
That's a cold game. Well, one day you have to do a WMA stream, innit?
Yeah, it's just like Football Manager though. It's such a boring game to actually watch.
Yeah, very boring game to watch. Just text based, isn't it?
It'd have to be like really edited and done in a way where you're pretty much just, I don't know, maybe you talk about some of the booking decisions and then you do a card sort of thing.
Yeah, it'd have to be like like an animated MMA show, innit?
Well, I imagine.
That'd be cold. I mean, already got the animated
the way they have the commentary for the fight, it's very descriptive.
Yeah.
If you actually, I don't know if you just, when you do your events, you just skip every fight or.
Yeah, I just skip to the end still.
No, I go through each fight individually, and I'll skip until a title fight or main event, and then I'll actually watch the commentary.
Okay. Well, what you have to do is, like them videos that Dana White does, where he's like, "We've had this fight announced, and this is the card." You have to do one of them.
This card is badass.
Yeah, facts. And then you'll be like, yeah, we've got the former heavyweight champion. People forget, man, and all that.
That's
people
the thing. I
forget,
could
man.
just start the video with like my Dana White type video, like,
Yeah,
and then a little bit editing onto the cards.
facts. So that people forget, man, this guy was a marauder, innit?
Yeah, facts. That's like this current guy I have at heavyweight. He was my heavyweight champion. Had a lot of defenses, but then man, lost a few in that. But he's back. Like I've been putting up against bombers. People forget, man.
That's facts.
He's 37 years old, but I still remember him as what he was. People forget, man.
37.
He's a savage.
Marauder, innit?
Yeah, he's a marauder. Got to be, bro.
Whatever that means, innit? Whatever that means when Joe Rogan says that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, even when Demetrius Johnson threw up Ray Borg in the air and armbarred him, what do you hear? Ray Borg's a savage. Like, yeah, my man is the savage, getting his arm ripped off.
And we got launched up in the air.
Yeah, man got launched up in the air and caught in an armbar, bro. Leave it out.
Man's getting treated like them weirdos that get caught a predator and they beat them off, innit? You actually look like a predator as well, innit? Wow.
Who?
Ray Borg, innit? Look like some nonce with those glasses.
Yeah, low key. There was a man like on the bus when Conor McGregor threw the thing at the bus.
Oh, was he on there? Right.
I think so.
Well, kind of say it took a big.
I was looking there, shook and that.
You took a shit on the bus, innit?
The fact that they let man like do a whole press conference after that and everything, like.
Yeah, and you could tell man was geeked that entire press conference.
You gotta be.
He said, "I know a lot about you, Ali Abdelaziz. You mad terrorist, right? Innit?"
Facts.
For real, bro. You gotta drop the facts. Like whether you win or lose the fight, like you gotta drop the facts regardless. You know,
you're mad terrorist.
Because at that point, you're not even. At that point, the fight doesn't matter still, because you're ruining these guys' lives. Like they can win a fight, it's cool or whatever.
That's kind of secondary at that point. It's
you know what I mean?
But like, no. He's gonna do it sometimes, don't it?
People do forget, man, about featherweight Conor though.
Yeah, didn't lose at featherweight, innit?
But guys think when they think of Conor coming back and like fighting, they think you're gonna see like featherweight Conor, but featherweight Conor's never coming back.
And it's not even as if it was just a different size. Like he is a completely different fighter to who he was at featherweight.
He is. I mean, because he's got the size and power advantage. But for me, it's always something I would talk about as well, or I would think I wouldn't talk about, but I think like the amount of work and cardio Conor had to put in to get down to featherweight was part of the reason why he was so unbeatable. Because of course you're not going to get gassed when you're going down to 145 because you have to do so much cardio to get your weight down. Like
he's just in such good shape.
No, I mean he's in such good shape. When he goes to welterweight, of course he's going to get gassed in 2 rounds. And then at lightweight he didn't really get gassed other than he only fought Eddie Alvarez and then Khabib at lightweight, innit?
But I would still personally argue that his win over Jose Aldo is the greatest title win of all time. Jose Aldo, who's undefeated in the whole of WEC, in the whole of UFC, probably won like 9 or 10 title fights in a row.
Yeah.
Gets knocked out in 13 seconds after the whole tour of promotion they did for that fight as well.
Bro, they've never done that since. Why don't they do that more often? I mean, to be fair, you haven't had a personality like Conor that could carry a world.
I think it's that, and we've spoken about it before, where UFC is the brand now, so they don't feel like they need to do all of that with their superstar. Do you know what I mean? They're not gonna, let's go tour the UK with Tom Aspinall in this country and that country for the fight against John Jones. Like, no, they're gonna know. They're gonna say, oh, well, this is a big fight. It's gonna sell what it sells. We're just gonna do it our way. Have a press conference like probably like a month before the fight, and then have one like a week before the fight.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But
that was serious vibes and aura though. That featherweight Conor McGregor, serious aura.
Yeah, was that the best title win? Probably. It probably is still.
It's gotta be,
Maybe.
right? And also you have to consider what Jose Aldo went on to do after that as well. Reclaim the featherweight title after Conor left
Yeah.
and go down to bantamweight and compete and be really
Yeah.
good for years.
What about? Okay, I'll take your Conor and Aldo. I'll raise you Cody Garbrandt v Dominic Cruz.
It's in there, you know, it's in the
Up there,
conversation.
isn't it? It's a conversation to be had, isn't it?
It's
It
in the
is, 'cause
conversation, but for me, I would not put Dominic Cruz anywhere near on the pedestal. I'd put Jose Aldo.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess Aldo was fighting better competition consistently at featherweight.
Slightly better, not even that much better competition, to be real.
Actually, maybe not though, because who would he really
There was a
have
lot
fought in terms
of
title
bummy
defenses?
guys like, you know, like Mark Hominick and these type of shitty back in the day guys that he would beat. But man still beat like Cobb Swanson by like a 5 second knockout back in the day. But obviously when he really went up against serious guys, he lost. You know, Conor McGregor, Max Holloway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like beating guys like Cobb Swanson, Mike Brown, Uriah Faber, Mark Hominick, Kenny Florian, Chad Mendes, Frankie Edgar, Chan Sung Young, Ricardo Lamas, Chad Mendes again.
Yeah.
He does have some nice wins, but Dominic Cruz, his resume is definitely worse because he's beaten Uriah Faber as well.
Yeah, Uriah Faber. Yeah, TJ. But to be fair, TJ's probably a higher
Joseph
level than
Benavidez twice.
Yeah.
Ian McCall.
But even a guy like TJ, he's probably a higher level than
He's
any
probably
of those guys who you named.
that's probably a better win than any win Aldo has.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That win is probably that win itself is probably better than any win, and he's beaten Demetrius Johnson as well. But come on, Demetrius Johnson a bantamweight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson would have lost to Dominic Cruz and would have lost to Aljamain Sterling. He would have lost to any of these bantamweight champions. Demetrius Johnson.
It man give him like a German suplex or something.
Yeah, ragdolled him. That was in 2011, but yeah.
I mean, but the DJ's just so small. He's just so small. Like
5'3".
You can have and we saw it. You can have all the technique in the world. Like you can't fault any of his technique, but it gets to a point where when you're facing guys,
it's still a point. How much better does he have to be than Dominic Cruz to actually beat him? He has to be so much better than him to actually beat him. And Dominic Cruz is so good in his own right that you're not going to be that much better than Dominic Cruz. So you're just going to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. For me, it's not a title win though. But the most impressive title defense to me, I've said this before, is Islam beating Charles Oliveira by submission. Though
that's also the most impressive, probably like a top 5 title win of all year. Well, just a title.
Obviously, that's not a title win. That's a title defense.
Well, I said I mean like title fight win.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily winning the belt from the champion, but.
And then you take into account the story of Dominic Cruz v Cody Garbrandt. Obviously, all the background with Team Alpha Male.
Team Alpha Male, yeah.
But obviously, even Aldo and Conor obviously had a crazy story as well.
Oh, you got to think, I watched that fight back in the day when it happened because that was on the same card. Wasn't that co-main event to flipping Ronda Rousey, wasn't it? And Amanda Nunes, I'm getting the card up. Yeah. Amanda Nunes versus Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey came back to fight Amanda Nunes and got absolutely smoked.
Jesus.
And Garbrandt, Dominic Cruz was the co-main event.
Yeah.
That performance was, that performance is probably one of the best, one night performances you'll see from anyone in UFC history.
Oh, for sure.
This man has not fought. He's not fought like that afterwards. He did not fight like that before.
Nope. Not even remotely.
It's not even as if, he just did his thing well in that night. No, he just doesn't fight like that. Cody Garbrandt does not fight like that.
And bro, that's got to go down as like one of the biggest mysteries in MMA history, bro. Because
I thought he was going to reign reign that division for a long time. I rated TJ Dillashaw, but I thought, man,
Yeah.
there's no way. And there's no way TJ's going to be too slow for him. He's not. TJ's good, but he struggled hard against Dominic Cruz, and Cody Garbrandt did that. But I guess that's why MMA math does not work and makes sense.
Facts. Styles make fight, innit? Fights, innit? But also, when TJ fought Cody was... I can't even say he was going into it mad emotional, because I'd imagine he would be emotional in a Dominic Cruz fight as well.
He seemed it. He seemed it.
Yeah.
He seemed it leading up to it.
Yeah, but I mean, he was definitely emotional in that TJ fight, because he didn't fight anything like he did in the Dominic Cruz fight. He was fighting like how Cody normally fights. And
just pretty much looking for the one knockout punch to finish you. That's what he's looking for. Yeah, since that Dominic Cruz fight, it's almost like if Dominic Reyes had beat John Jones and then just started being shit and losing bare fights. Yeah, so he beat Dominic Cruz and he loses to TJ Dillashaw twice. I mean, he looked much worse in those fights than he did against Dominic Cruz. Looked much worse and lost, and then went and lost to Pedro Munoz by TKO. And that time, he's fallen all the way off. If he's losing to TJ twice, you might be able to say, okay, he's going to come out now and get a good win, and you're going to see how good he is, and that TJ just is that good. And then he gets finished by Pedro Munoz, which is such a bad look in the first round as well. It's a horrible look. Man knocks out Rafael Assunção in the 2020s. Well done. Guy's like 55. Yeah. Brilliant.
I use him as like one of the guys I beat up on in UFC 5.
Facts.
I'll pick like Jack Della or like Lyoto Machida, and I'll just beat up Rafael Assunção or something.
It's just a little bum, isn't it? It's like your guy Henan Barrell.
Oh, right. He's coming back though. GFL soon come.
But yeah, no, man then lost to Rob Font in a 5-round decision. Obviously had enough of bantamweight, went to flyweight, got finished by Kai Kara France. Said, all right.
Cody?
Yeah.
Oh, Cody fought at flyweight.
He had one fight at flyweight and got finished by Kai Kara France.
Damn, I did not know that. Wow.
That was on a pay-per-view. I remember that. Oliveira versus Poirier.
Cody Garbrandt's cooked still.
Yeah, but then man went back up to bantamweight. 2-fight win streak against Trevin Jones and Brian Kelleher, Then they put him up against Davison. And that was a pretty... Wow. Actually, you know what, in the first round, Cody Garbrandt was actually providing a tiny bit of trouble for Davison, but... No.
He's still a big hitter, isn't it? Like, he's still got...
He's still got power, for sure. Yeah, he got power. His knockout against Brian Kelleher before the Davison Figueiredo fight, that was a brutal knockout.
Yeah.
But yeah, man's last fight was in UFC 300. Lost it. Not bad to lose to Davison Figueiredo, do you know what I mean? But
no, but it's definitely a fall from grace, because Figueiredo, he's top 10, probably. But yeah, you go from winning a world championship in like the most, like I said, in my opinion, like one of the best world title performances ever, to barely scraping the top 10 now.
Yeah, he's won. Let's have a look at this. He's won 6 out of his last 9. No, he's lost 6 out of his last 9.
If he'd won 6 of his last 9, that's not too bad. But losing 6 is crazy.
Yeah, getting finished as well.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Got finished by TJ twice. Finished by Munoz. Finished by Kai Kara France. Finished by Figueiredo.
Yeah,
it's a bad.
Figueiredo's
look,
nice though.
I think man's face is probably going to be on this episode now.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. We've got, facts, because we talked about him.
Probably Bivol.
Bivol, probably Cody Garbrandt. Who else do we talk about?
Maybe Cejudo.
Yeah, that's calm, that works.
Even like Cody Rhodes or... Yeah.
No, it's been a good episode, though.
I feel like, done all right, yeah.
No, it's good that we're able to do it on Discord, because we can both be on our PCs and we can look stuff up if we have to as well. Whereas
it's definitely way more convenient. When we got the physical mics and stuff, it's different,
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I mean that might be it for this episode. We've been going for about 2 hours, I think, just under about 2 hours. So got a good long episode in. Talked about obviously last night's boxing, but when this episode comes out, it'll be in a few days from now. But the Bivol v Beterbiev 2 fight. Talked about the card there. Talked about the Henry Cejudo fight, and then obviously we talked about some other boxing. Turkey Al Sheikh, how he's saving boxing. Talks about some of the most impressive title victories, about Cody beating Jose Aldo, and obviously my comeback was Cody Garbrandt v Dominic Cruz. Yeah. A good episode.
Yeah, that was a good comparison, comparing the resume of Cruz to Aldo.
Yeah, that's what we're all about. Lonely Stunner podcast. Talk about MMA, boxing, wrestling, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Cool. Well, obviously, we've got your side quest episode that drops. I think that dropped today, didn't it? Yeah, that dropped today.
Yeah.
Good stuff as always. Well, I mean, as many side quests as you can make, I can upload.
Yeah, of course.
So we can mash fair work. Obviously, we've got our side quests dropping like there's no tomorrow, innit? I'm dropping episodes like they're going out of fashion.
I see like episode 35. I'm thinking, whoa.
Every time you jump on the channel and you refresh it, there's another side quest episode uploaded, innit?
Yeah, but it's good though. It's literally, you can only bring positive.
Exactly. There's no downside to doing it. Keeps growing the channel, more content for us to clip. I mean, we've got hours and hours and hours of stuff that's not even been clipped yet, and we're already dropping 5 or 6 shorts a day. And like I said, we've got, I want to say, over 15 hours of us talking that hasn't been clipped yet.
Yeah, that's cold, man.
That's it, bro.
There's just so much content to it's also like a backlog of content.
Facts. I think the channel's on like 30,000 something views, which is
by the time it might be cold, but by the time my side quest that I made starts getting tipped up, it'll probably be close to like when that fight card's happening.
Yeah, when is that fight?
I want to say like next month or something, April.
I want to say April, yeah. Potentially, yeah, very possible. Very, very possible, yeah. Right, I've got someone shouting me for gummies. Right. Mad message to get during a podcast, innit?
You're just trying to record a nice little Lonely Stoner pod and you're getting shouted.
Can you help me find some gummies? Cool, if not. Do I even know anyone that can get gummies? I have to ask around, innit? It's a good thing we don't use our real names on the podcast, isn't it? Out is soliciting, innit?
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him, innit?
Facts. Tracking my IP address. Out is soliciting. Nah, but you've been broth recently, though. Before we end the podcast, you've been broth recently.
Broth.
Well, I'm asking the real questions, innit?
Oh, definitely not.
Speak for yourself. Nah, I haven't myself either, bro. I'm not made of money nowadays.
Well, it's not been looking too fruitful.
But when YouTube gets monetized and X gets monetized, definitely have to do a Lonely Stoner broth session.
Yeah, you're sick.
Getting Twitter to pay for my broth. I mean, that is the dream.
Sick, innit?
Speak for yourself, innit? Guilty as charged. Facts, guilty as charged. Officer, take me away. Nah, it's cold. I do rate doing a podcast like this, though. I do rate it. Jumping on
Loki, Loki might actually be better and better.
Yeah, because you can look stuff up. Yeah, that's not bad still.
But also, we don't want to use this as a reason to never link up, sort of shit.
No, facts. I still got it.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah.
No, this can definitely be for them situations where maybe might be a bit slumped from doing something or whatever. Can't be bothered to link up like that. Just jump on this.
Yeah, which is mad because we only live like 2 minutes away from each other as well.
Literally just hella local. But so sometimes you can't bother to just drive 2 minutes down the road.
It does get like that. Yeah, no, that's what I say to the chicks as well, you know. Always want to link up with me. I'm not trying to drive, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes down the road, bro. Leave me alone.
You got time for all that.
Yeah. Our friend of ours, a female friend of ours, keeps messaging me, but I have to just leave her on
Now.
delivered for how long? How long now?
Yeah, I locked that
Finish
one
on-
fully off still.
He messaged me on Friday. Yeah, and it's Sunday now. Yeah, I'm not responding to that, bro. Like, what could she possibly say to me? Innit? That would make me, want to entertain the conversation there.
Yeah, at this point, she might just be getting used as a setup chick or something. You never know, innit?
Well, that would be mad. But we're trying to get her back working though, G. I'm trying to be trying to be like Silvio to our Tony Soprano friend.
Well, so I need to be the Ralphie.
Yeah, facts. We're gonna organise the sit down, innit?
And
and then,
I'm just with her, and you just come and drag her away, and I'm just laughing like out the window.
Yeah, facts. Your shaved crap
belongs to me,
innit?
and I'm just laughing like I'll chew in my sweets and that. I'm just laughing.
What do you want to say? You understand?
You understand? Belongs to me. You understand?
Until you pay back what you
Until
owe,
you pay
innit?
back what you owe, belongs to me.
Facts, it really does.
So listen here, you bookiak.
Yeah, facts. Oh, before we finish the pod though, I do want to ask: have you seen the new Spider-Man series that's come out?
No, I haven't. I've heard some things about it though.
It's on Disney Plus, bro. I'll be real. I tried to watch it, but the style of animation for me is just bare goofy. Still, I can't even.
It looks like they've tried to put a comic book, just literally rip it and put it on the screen.
Yeah, look,
Animated.
It's not a good look for me. I think it looks goofy as hell. I watched like 2 minutes of it and I was like, yeah, this can't run. But I haven't even heard reviews about it, to be fair. I can't even say I didn't rate it as a show because I didn't even watch the show. But I didn't rate the animation style for like the 2 minutes that I watched it. So I was wondering if you've watched it, then you see what it's saying. But
and I've seen like clips of it, so I know what you mean, but I've not actually put any of it on. Nah.
Yeah. But they've got Daredevil coming out soon as well. Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah, that's coming out soon. I'm hoping that's good, but at this point you can't.
Facts.
You can't fall for the trailers. You can't bet on anything they make being good.
That's it. Like, the trailers look good, but the trailers for Captain America at the start looked good as well. But all we've got is man saying you're not Steve Rogers, isn't it?
Yeah, I know you wanted him to drop that bar.
Wait, I mean, I hope he does drop that bar. If they want this film to actually make money, then that's what they have to do.
I'm kind of wondering what money it's kind of already making. I might have to research some of that, but yeah,
I might be one of your. I might be another SideQuest episode there, isn't it?
It's not reviewing Captain America's box office.
Yeah,
I've not even seen it, and I'm just talking about it.
Facts. I mean, there's probably enough guys that do that, that review films that they ain't even seen.
Yeah, low key, and just got to chat shit for the love of the game.
Anything for the content, innit?
Why not?
A guy sidewinder,
That's your favorite Marvel character.
I can't even speak on the film because I ain't seen it, but like potential there, innit? Because you've got a cold actor, so you could take a guy who's a cold actor and like make him like a unknown character and kind of do what you want with him and make him cold. But the way Marvel is right now, they'll take him and just make him dead.
Especially with a cold actor like that as well, where guys are gonna sort of pre-rate him just because he's a cold actor.
Bro, I think of like what they did with Guardians, innit? Like going into Guardians, like no one really had any expectations of what it should be like. So you go into it with an open mind and you're like, right, it's actually pretty good. That's what they could do with Sidewinder. I don't think they have done it. I haven't watched it, but it's probably not what they've done with Sidewinder. But game is game, innit? As they say.
They do.
Yeah, that's it from the Lonely Stunner podcast. Episode 19 in the books.
So 20 next week.
Yeah, bro. Wow. I've come a long way. 20 episodes of the podcast, 35 side quests. 2 of your side quests as well. Mad. Smashing it. Just going on a generational run. Yeah, that'll be it from us. I've been Seth.
Yeah, and I've been Evan.
That's it from the No Son podcast, and we're out.
Peace.
Cool.